Everybody, Mike Means Marketing here. I've got an amazing guest today. In this video, you're going to learn from Kheirstyn Ross how to raise millions of dollars in crowdfunding. She's going to teach you how to vet the right products, ensure that you're developing the right leads, and ultimately launching on Indigogo or Kickstarter and creating a massive success with your crowdfunding campaign. Hi, everybody, and welcome to 10-Minute Hacks from the Best Marketing Minds. I've got an amazing guest for you today. Her name is Kheirstyn Ross, and she is a product launch strategist focusing on crowdfunding. She's raised over $2 million for her clients on Indigogo. Kheirstyn, how are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So let's dive right in. Most entrepreneurs, most marketers, they have a hard luck story that drives them to greatness. Something that they've gone through that has made them better at what they do today. What's yours?
I love how you didn't prep me for this because I think this is going to be a good answer. What drives me is I'm terrified of being wrong or charging people and giving wrong advice and having the launch flop. Or like, it doesn't even have to be a launch because I've been a consultant for like a few years now, but like I don't ever want to be the person that is responsible for someone failing and have them come back to me and say, you gave me the advice that cost me thousands of dollars. That is one of my driving fears. So like, I think part of how like our strategy and how we do launches now is not based on my gut instinct anymore. It's not like, oh yeah, I'll definitely use this advice because it worked all the time. I'm just so terrified of being wrong with so much money on the table with these launches now that I think it's allowed me to test a lot more. And that's what drives me. Cause like in the past, I've helped hundreds of entrepreneurs like start businesses and stuff like that. But I think in the past, I don't remember I'm sure there were specific moments when I was first starting out, like way before crowdfunding, where I was like, oh, this is how I did it. But then I realized when I was like 21 that the way that I would run a business is not the same way. It's not like a one size fits all. And I think I did have a couple of early people that I learned through. So maybe I can't remember a specific incident, but like that is my biggest fear that drives me. Cause you don't want that on your conscience. Like, nope. Oh, you caused someone to do this thing.
Well, I got my start really with ThingCharger and we did, millions and millions of dollars. And then stepping away from that and bringing on new clients. I mean, I've had clients that I couldn't get a result for, right? And that's the thing that is just terrifying. I totally understand.
Yeah. Because you're like, you have this big win and then all of a sudden you go to do something else and you pivot and you realize you're not indestructible. And you're like, oh crap, okay, no, there's more to this.
Right. which causes you to learn and get better and better. And that's what it's that's fantastic. What market? So I know you really got into Indigogo crowdfunding, helping other people. How did you make your first few dollars online as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think it was definitely not through podcast sponsorship. That's for sure.
I'm right there with you. Yeah, no shit.
Honestly, it was two incidents. Like I got into crowdfunding because I partnered up with a founder here in Toronto 2 years ago and brought his idea to life with him. So technically, because we used Indiegogo as a platform to raise money, that was technically how I made my money online. But making my first dollar online happened with digital products when I was looking to scale my consulting. I think like officially, someone would pay me through PayPal for my digital product without me having to close them or whatever. Right. Like
that's a great feeling, isn't it?
I was like, yeah, I know. It was a webinar and I pitched this thing. And then like after the webinar, I had $1,000 in my bank account. I was like, what? But it's like, yeah, it's different. Cause like my business has two sides, the client facing and then the digital side with products and stuff. So
right. So what is your favorite platform today for driving leads, for your clients and for yourself? Like what are you using? What tools are you using to drive traffic?
Facebook. Right. I don't have too much experience with the Google PPE or display ads, but those for certain campaigns have proven to be really good in terms of driving sales. But in terms of, I love Facebook because of the amount of targeting that you can do with very specific interests and demographics and stuff like that. So that's a great platform, I feel, for us to target specifically who we want to target and then build our list that way.
Right. So and this comes back to what you were saying earlier about the testing, right? And being able to take those ideas and flesh them out and use Facebook as a platform for testing those products.
You got it.
Got it. So tell me, you've got some great momentum, right, in your business. And I know I've seen you online before, and you launched your academy, and you're like, why didn't I do this earlier? And I totally get it. But let's say it was all taken away tomorrow, and you had to start over, no list, no nothing. Where do you start?
Okay. This is advice that I give constantly, and people ignore me because we're all stubborn entrepreneurs. Right?
Don't ignore this.
Okay. Seriously, I was the one that spent a year burning through my savings in the UK, not taking everyone's advice. I was doing webinars before I had 50 people on my list. I would start with, if you're in a service business, or I'm a consultant, so I would start by going to networking events and getting the one-on-one clients if I had to start over again, because how are you supposed to know what services you offer until you start working with people and see what you're good at and what they need? I think list building is something that should be done in the back end, because it takes, in the background, because it takes so long to do that and refine everything that you're doing. So I'd do exactly what I did when I was like, I'm almost out of cash. I go straight to a networking event and I just start talking to people, see what they need, and then just closing business and just start there, right? And then once you have capital, you go.
That's such good advice. I was talking to Scott Oldford the other day, and he's like this amazing Facebook marketer, right?
Love him, yeah.
And we were talking, and I'm like, it costs you 50. Let's say you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to drive traffic to a webinar, and you're just not having success, and you get analysis paralysis. You're behind your computer all day. You're in ClickFunnels. You're doing this and that and the other, but you're not getting any results. Take that $50 you're going to spend on Facebook ads, go to a networking event, invite somebody out to dinner, and buy fucking dinner, right?
Yes. Honestly, I know and now I have the pleasure of having, several clients and academy, but if the academy bombed or half my clients fired me, I would have to go back to not relying on word of mouth. I would go to networking events, because that is a great way to build trust and have a quick transaction with people, right? It's the relationship that's going to sell you and your services. So,
right. So today in your business, you've experienced a lot of things and a lot of success, and I'm sure a lot of failure as well. What is the number one thing you learned? What's the number one marketing hack that you use to defeat all others?
So this is new. This goes back to my whole, and I think I'm a fan of this, because I'm like, oh, well, we'll just run data-driven campaigns, right? So people talk about this idea of validating your product, and validating your product means that you know that with certainty it's going to sell, right? But validation has a couple of different angles. What if you, before a launch, you have something you know is going to sell, right? People say, I'll buy that. But there's another side that people don't really think about, and it's the whole positioning aspect of it. And when I look to what it takes to convert a visitor from a landing page online, you need to present the product in a specific way. You need to talk about its top 3 features. You need to showcase that one blanket statement for why this is relevant to most people, so that you convert visitors. But before you can create your sales page, your crowdfunding page, your video, any marketing collaterals, you have no idea why your customers are resonating with your product, or what's the price point, or what's the number one feature. You're guessing at all of this. And I've seen crowdfunding campaigns tank because even if you have a great product and you may have an audience, if you bring the traffic to the page, it doesn't convert because you didn't speak to the customer properly. So there's this other side of validation where it's yes, we know it will sell, but what we're now integrating into our practice is when you are building audience for Facebook ads and you're testing and stuff like that, you have an opportunity to engage your customers and really start to test certain things to see. And I got this hack from Indigogo. They're like, so I have a good contact there, and she, with one of our campaigns a year ago, was like, okay, thing is that you are too feature heavy. We need to focus on the top 3, and here's why. And we're like, we don't know what the audience wants. And she's like, well, here's a survey. And so what we did is we took that survey and we surveyed our audience to see, hey, here are the 5 top features. How important is custom to you? How important is this and this and this? And it helped us identify who of our email list and our Facebook group resonated with what features. And then that's how we identified which ones to make prominent over others.
Got it.
So that I think is the hack that I now integrate with everything. Is I don't just, how do we really know they're going to buy it at that price? How do we really know why they care about this, or why it's going to benefit them? So let's test everything. So like, that's how I've started to, we do audience building and validation kind of in the same thing, because validation to me is testing the positioning. So
right. And you mentioned something interesting there about features, right? So you're looking for the top 3 features, but then you're trying to understand why this matters to this particular person. And that why is what you use to create the copy and the emotional connection. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah. I think one of our most frustrating projects, we haven't launched yet, but I took this client on.
Shh, don't tell the client.
Oh no, it's fine. She fully knows about this, but who knows? Maybe we'll be launched by the time this airs. But we took her on about 5 months ago, and it's a great product. Okay, but we've been doing testing, and things are not converting. And we were getting a ton of traffic. Is this what I saw you post on the
ClickFunnels group page the other day?
It was. So of course, like that group ate me alive. I'm like, hey, okay, because what ended up happening was like we were getting a ton of traffic, but the landing page just wasn't converting. And it's when we first start testing, we had no data. So we're testing different things, and we tried so many different angles. And what it came down to was the positioning. And so unfortunately we didn't have an audience to test our positioning on, but what we ended up doing was we realized that we were selling too many features of the product. We weren't selling the outcome that the product had on someone's life. So we looked really high level. The product is a children's bath time companion that helps them have a calm bath experience, because a lot of parents can relate to their kids freaking out on that. And we were selling the whole, calm your kid down, completely wrong angle. What is now converting at 10%, which is amazing. We want it to be 20, but it's actually converting past the 0 point whatever percent it was at. But what we got was we realized, okay, no, after speaking to a few moms and surveying some people, what people really cared about was the whole, if you calm your kid down, you have a better nighttime routine, which means you can put your kid to bed earlier, which means you can sleep. And
or
that was it.
Just be awake without your kid.
Yeah, and not want to like reach for the bottle of wine or something like that. And that's what we, and that, and this is why
genius,
we test.
right?
It's like, once we're like, oh my God, what is the thing? And we identified it and was like, no, it's bath time routine, and it's peace of mind for the parent, and not like, traumatizing their kid, but like, what is the bigger picture for what you're doing? And I think that's a really cool thing that, because I'm not a parent, it wasn't super apparent to me. And I didn't realize that by default with other products, I understood really quickly that that is what I was doing, was like the bigger outcome and bigger picture that your product allows. So we did that, and it's converting now.
That's amazing.
Or like, my God, that was it.
So just, I'm just going to paint the picture real quick. So when I originally saw the page, it was a video with the child in the bathtub, and it had the teddy bear on the wall, and the teddy bear is what attracts the kid's attention. And then, but it was kind of a blankish page. What did you actually change on that page to incorporate what you learned? So
let me see. What was it before? It was something like, the perfect bath time companion for your child, or something like that. And it's like, hey, Cub in the Tub is something that's going to help calm your child down. So what we did is we kind of took it like the elf in the shelf, like, adopt an elf for whatever. So we made it like cute, but our page has like the very first thing, Cub in the Tub, a bath time friend that's transformed nightly routines for both kids and their parents. So it's super high level. We went more granular. So our copy is like, are you tired of fighting with your toddler at bath time? Somehow my kid didn't turn up like those beautiful baby shampoo commercials, and it was a constant struggle. And then you talk like, I was tired, worn out, and just wanted to get my son to bed, but our bath time routine was a nightmare. We tried everything and nothing worked until we tried this thing.
That's freaking genius. And you know, I think that, you know, people who, if you're somebody who drives Facebook ads, if you're somebody that builds funnels or lead pages or landing pages, and you're driving traffic and you go, this is not working. You know, most people try to change button colors and stupid shit like that. And it's like, no, you need to like go back to the basics, right? And rely on marketing principles and psychology to understand who you're driving to this page.
No, did you see that? Okay, so this ClickFunnels group post, that group is awesome, but oh my God, I had in like 24
I had to stop.
hours,
I had to stop going back. It was like notification. I had to stop like looking at the notifications.
There were like over 100 comments. I ended up deleting the post because people started doing things like, this product sucks, I would never buy it. Or the button color should not be orange, it needs to be green. I'm like, okay, this is not, no. This is
not helpful, right?
No. I was like, there's something else going on. Like, I had a professional design the page. It's just, there's something else. And I was like, this is not helpful. But
Right. I mean, I remember like the first few comments were like, I was like, okay, yeah, that's how, but yeah, people can be so douchey.
Try blue. Try this really ugly background color. I'm like, whatever.
Well, I'm glad you went back to basics and didn't listen to everybody and their mother who is a ClickFunnels expert.
I mean, there were some good feedback, but guys, if you're listening to this, like if you're looking at failure points of why your campaign isn't converting, it could be multiple things and you need to look at every angle. Like you said, like go back to psychology. It's not necessarily, oh, the button's blue. Like that's why your whole campaign's failing, because you chose the wrong color for your button.
But I mean, when you first get into this game, like, you know, you're brainwashed to think that these, you know, it's like, no, dude, it's marketing psychology. This is not about, you know, this is not just about going, sure, like colors can be important, but I mean, it's way less important than a lot of these experts will say. So the game's always changing, right? We talk about psychology. We talk about how, you know, marketing principles generally stay the same over the time, right? Humans haven't changed that much over the past, you know, few hundred or 1,000 years when it comes to, you know, concepts like reciprocity and scarcity and all these sorts of things. But the tools are always changing, right? And they're changing freaking fast. So what are you looking to in 2018, 2019 that, you know, you're thinking about, I need to learn this, I need to be on the cutting edge of this tool?
ClickFunnels. Honestly, I mean, I know I'm like super obsessed and I'm an affiliate and some clients may question my association with it, but like honest to God, I think Russell Brunson and what he's done, like this funnel is a customer experience. So you don't necessarily need to use the ClickFunnels software, but what he's done to be able to take the customer experience to an entirely different level to maximize your profit. Oh, that's 100% it. So that and using real storytelling and like, I mean, I use storytelling, but ClickFunnels. I would say.
I'm gonna piggyback on that because I actually used to think Russell Brunson was kind of a douche.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm an internet marketer,
but he's actually pretty much a genius. And you know, he pushes the boundaries, right? And I think that's sometimes where that came across for me. I'm like, dude, you're too salesy. It's too much. But the things that he does, like, you know, you don't have to take everything that he does and incorporate it into your own business. But if you learn the lessons that he's teaching, like Expert Secrets is a phenomenal book. So is .com Secrets. I read that a few years ago. And so his funnels are so good that I fell into a funnel and I purchased ClickFunnels like 2 years ago. I didn't even know it. I didn't even know I bought ClickFunnels, right? And then I get this charge and I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, and I wrote back to customer service, like, get me out of here. I use lead pages. Get me out of here. And then about 6 months ago, I watched one of his videos and I'm like, all right, fine. Like, I'll try it. And now I'm like kicking myself in the teeth for, you know, previously using lead pages and this and that and the other Squarespace and now I'm like, all I use is ClickFunnels because I can create, this custom experience. It's incredibly user-friendly, and I'm going to shut up now because I'm
in love with ClickFunnels.
I'm in love with ClickFunnels. I really am. But there's also analysis paralysis that comes with ClickFunnels. There's also all these things that you can sit behind a computer all day and try to perfect the button, as we were talking about before.
Mm-hmm. I know. I think though, ClickFunnels is great. And I mean, guys, even if you don't give a crap what a funnel is, if you're new to internet marketing, pick up .com Secrets, because it's a book, $77.99 plus shipping. Free shipping, free plus shipping, whatever.
Free plus, yeah.
Yeah, but it's
you spend $7.
Yeah, it's a crash course into internet marketing and storytelling that is I can't believe how cheap that book is. But it's a lead magnet to his other things, and I understand that. But guys, seriously, pick up the book. But
yeah, absolutely. So I was about to ask you what marketer inspired you the most in your career, but I have a feeling.
I think
is it Russell?
I think so. Who did it start with? It started as Tim Ferriss, but he's not really a marketer. So Tim is the reason it inspired this whole life change for me, and to have better, bigger expectations of myself. And that I don't need to try to love my corporate job because I hated it. So he paved the way. So Tim was a start, but I think in terms of right now, it's Russell.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. But Tim did it for me too. When I read the 4-Hour Workweek, I'm like, that's when I decided that I was done, right? I was a restaurant manager for years, and I was just like, you know what? I've got to do something else. I'm just tired of it. I want to be working for myself. I want to, do things that I'm passionate about every day. I want to sit down and get to, my job is to, have a conversation with you today. How cool is that?
Right.
So it's pretty amazing. I could absolutely sit here and talk to you all day, Kheirstyn. Unfortunately, we do have to wrap it up. Can you tell our listeners how to find you if they're interested in your launch program, or if they're interested in, bringing you on as a consultant for their crowdfunding program? How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, I think my main hub online is crowdfundinguncut.com. And if you're looking for free, I have podcasts. I also have a physical product launch checklist, which outlines my entire process from start to finish. Or if you're looking at a higher level, we do have a monthly membership called the Product Launch Academy, which you can go into. We have a $1 trial on right now, but you can get all that from the crowdfundinguncut.com.
That's awesome.
For that.
Kheirstyn, it was an absolute pleasure hanging out with you today.
You too.
And I look forward to chatting again soon.
Sounds good. See you later.
Awesome. Thanks. Fantastic. That was great.
We could talk for hours.
I know. So you've got the one big client now, or the bathroom client now, not the bathroom client.
Well, the
bathtub bear. What else are you working on?
We have I don't even know. We have Jamstack is wrapping up in 3 days. Sound molds.
Is that finished. The Jamstack was the
guitar?
Yep.
Yep.
And it's an amp on the guitar, right?
Correct.
That's awesome.
So
how'd that do?
Good. We have 3 days left. We're at 170 right now, so we really want to get to 200.
Nice.
For that, so we have Jamstack. We just finished a campaign. This shows I have 5 or 6 things
You're also doing Dr. Jerry, right? Dr. J, I call him. He called me. Yeah, he called me after the interview I did with you. He's like, I've got this book and I want to get it out there. I'm like, he offered me a revenue share. I'm like, okay, all right. I really like you, so I'm gonna help you.
He is amazing.
He's amazing. He's he's the coolest guy in the world.
He's like, don't tell Michael that I'm working with you. I'm like, all right.
What? He told me.
Oh, he did? Okay, cool.
He did.
I was like, all right, I won't. But so we're looking at Funded Today talked him into relaunching on Kickstarter. So I might be managing the campaign if they want just help with copy and stuff. Apart from that, we're going to be working together whenever his e-com site is set up with help for actually building sales and stuff. So because nice. I really want to have a skill set outside of crowdfunding in case anything happens. So we're I will be taking on Jamstack and Sound Molds at a continued
smart
thing.
Yep.
Just because it's consistent revenue, and when you love working with certain people, it's we're just gonna figure something out and we'll do it.
Right. Right. That's awesome.
So
Sound Mold is doing well. I haven't checked it.
yeah, we did like 32,000. It's whatever. Like, consider all things considered, and how they came to me with, it was literally just a bud.
Right.
I think we've done fairly well, and I'm glad we've broken even on it, but I think it's definitely my lowest performing campaign, but we still got funded and they're still happy with it. So
right. Well, that's pretty awesome that, your lowest performing campaign, only brought in, $30K or whatever. So
it's true. And we didn't fail. Like,
right.
that selfishly, that's why I'm like, hey, Jerry, if you want to relaunch on Kickstarter, like, I'll just manage your campaign. It's not going to be like this whole thing like it was before. Because
Right.
I just want the association of the, obviously.
Right.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you're kicking ass. How is the new academy going?
Good. It's a constant struggle to balance clients and academy and build academy.
So it's not.
Yeah.
So it's not just a digital product that you've created. It's also coaching and consulting and masterminds, or what?
So one-on-ones are my agency. So launches are the agency. The academy is a monthly membership. So it's a Facebook group and trainings on how to crowdfund, basically. So that's what that is.
So are you building the trainings as you go, or did you build them before you launched?
I built a few as I went, so I have some in there already. But like all memberships, like you learn as you go. So I have the basics of a lot of things except influencer marketing. And the students are like, I'm so overwhelmed with all the information. Can you just make like a step-by-step? If you're here, go to this training. So I'm rejigging the layout of the academy with it for member attrition and stuff. But so I'm doing that and optimizing my funnel, because I've never done Facebook ads until this, because I've had the pleasure of all my traffic coming from things like this.
Right.
So now I'm like, okay, time to do Facebook ads and optimize my funnel and whatever. So I'm looking to grow it, but I also am nurturing the 30 members we have.
Right.
So
awesome.
It's
well,
good.
Congratulations. I'm glad you took absolutely. And then, just kind of diving in there and then, creating as you go, I think is so important. Again, analysis paralysis, right? We all get stuck.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to make 50 modules and then launch and then realize no one wants it.
Such a bad idea. Awesome.
Yep.
All right, darling. Well, I'll let you go. But keep
good.
in touch, and anytime you need anything, just shout out, and I will keep you on speed dial as well.
Sounds good. I know when I get the academy to 100 members, I'm going to start, or even 75, I'm going to do expert interviews. So I'll maybe might bring you in and say, hey, best practices or whatever.
I'd be happy to.
Cool. Yeah, I just want more members in there first, but.
Right.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks,
See you.
Kheirstyn.
Bye.
All right.